Hey guys, this is Justin. Hello and welcome to another video. And today's is very exciting because we have what I believe to be the first real credible scoop about the upcoming Kenobi television show. Now, I cannot take credit for this. This is not my scoop. It comes from the website Cinelinx and my friend Jordan Mason. The reason why I trust this leak, where I haven't trusted some Kenobi leaks in the past, is because I find Jordan to be very reliable. I know him personally, and at the very beginning of this article, he says that he has had confirmation from multiple sources, and usually he's very upfront about whether he believes something or whether it's just a possibility. So yeah, you can't take this 100% for certain, but I think it's quite likely, and of course I'm going to link to the article down below. Let's get into things, and there will be some spoilers, not crazy spoilers, but some, so if you want to go into the show completely fresh, skip this video. And after we go through the article, by the way, I will have a few more leaks to discuss, but let's get started. So the first big thing that Jordan shares is that Vivian Lyra Blair has been cast in Kenobi, and if you don't know who that is, that's not surprising because she is a child. She appeared in Bird Box, and probably the really big takeaway from this article is that she will be playing a young Leia. He says a young Luke has also been cast, and this makes a lot of sense to me. As much as I would love Kenobi to be a sort of contemplative movie with Ewan McGregor on Tatooine, maybe he doesn't ever draw his lightsaber even, except in flashbacks, that's probably not what we're getting here. And there needs to be some impetus for him to leave the planet. My guess is that somebody will be hunting, maybe not the Skywalker children, but perhaps Leia. Maybe there's some meeting between Bail Organa and members of the Empire, and an Inquisitor or somebody else picks up on that little spark of Force sensitivity within Leia. And then of course Kenobi is called into action and he has to protect her. Now, one of the big discussions I saw is, does that mean Kenobi and Leia met? And no, I don't think so. I think a lot of this show will be Kenobi protecting from afar, watching over Luke, and for the parts of the show, perhaps Leia, maybe saving her from an Inquisitor who's hunting her down, something like this, which she won't be aware of him doing. I also think you can't have her interact too closely with Kenobi because her Force sensitivity and her lineage should still be quite a mystery to her. So yeah, I think that's great. I would actually like to visit Alderaan, despite how important of a planet it is. Sorry, I have a baby again. We don't visit it in media very much, and we've only really seen it on screen in video games and at the end of Revenge of the Sith. My Inquisitor theory actually has a bit of backup too. We'll get to that in the article in a second, but the next thing that Jordan points out is that the show will be set 9 to 10 years before the events of Star Wars Rebels, and that several Star Wars Rebels characters will be appearing. Now, this at first had me a little bit worried because I don't want Kenobi to be some big thing that has wide connections to the rest of the universe, like The Mandalorian, for example. It shouldn't be the setup for a bunch of other stories like The Mando Season 2 was. But reading more about it, and I think Jordan comes to the same conclusion, that those individuals could very well be none other than the Inquisitors, like I just mentioned. In fact, we know that actor Sung Kang has been cast in the show, and Jordan is saying that he's been cast as one of the Inquisitors, and specifically the fifth brother. For those who don't know, the fifth brother was in Star Wars Rebels. He was the Inquisitor killed on Malachor, and that makes total sense to me. I would also like to see other Inquisitors. They've been handled both really well in Star Wars canon with, for example, the second sister. Her story in Fallen Order is actually really disturbing, and how she was tortured and how that was the fate of a lot of Force-sensitive kids, but it's also at times been handled less well. I'm thinking about parts of Star Wars Rebels. Now, there definitely could be many more Inquisitors. Some we've only seen very briefly, so there's definitely room for some of those to be included in Kenobi. New ones and ones that we already know. That's exciting. Alright, so the thing that got me most excited for this show, and again Jordan's article is linked below, is his final scoop. And he says, alongside Inquisitors, we will be getting Clone Wars flashbacks that feature a certain apprentice. Now, I'm not sure, but I think his implication here is Ahsoka. I mean, I'm just really excited, less for Ahsoka, but more for the Anakin Obi-Wan scenes. The little bit we get of them in Revenge of the Sith is actually really good, but the movie splits them up so quickly, and it just feels like there's so much more of that story to be told. Then, of course, you can have Ahsoka around, you can have the entire trio together, you can have her transition to live action again. Of course, she already was in The Mandalorian, but seeing her next to Hayden Christensen would be next level. And I mean, all of this makes sense. We know that Hayden Christensen is in the show, and I guarantee he's not just in the show to manipulate the suit as somebody else reads his voice lines. He is going to act. He will be out of the suit. That seems obvious, and he'll be out of the suit, not just covered in prosthetics either. And I am very much looking forward to that, because Hayden deserves the redemption. Well, I don't think he needs redemption, but he was unfairly labeled as something he wasn't, i.e. a bad actor during the Star Wars prequels, when the problems with those movies went far beyond him. When it came to his delivery and his acting, it was mostly a script issue. Anyway, big thanks to Jordan for posting this article. I'll link to it down below. You should follow Jordan on Twitter as well. He's got a lot of really good Star Wars scoops. He scooped the Kenobi show, I think about 10 days before that was officially announced, so follow him. Interestingly, at the top of Star Wars leaks in the subreddit today, we also do have a post from actor Sung Kang, who I just mentioned, who says he saw Darth Vader on set and Jedi, but whether they were Jedi or not is uncertain to me. They could just be lightsaber wielders like Inquisitors, or they could be Jedi, and I'm kind of wondering. Revenge of the Sith is really interesting because we have the first movie with Kenobi and Anakin together, and then they split off and we follow them individually, and of course their stories go very, very differently. I wonder if this show could sort of continue that, almost like a sequel to Revenge of the Sith. I mean, obviously it is in a way, but more directly, where it's following Kenobi, yes, but we're also seeing what Darth Vader is doing at this time, i.e. hunting down Jedi. Everyone's talking about how this could be a focus on the emotions of Obi-Wan and introspective in that way, but we can also see more of that side of Vader as well. Like, I can imagine, or this is maybe how I would write it at least, the early episodes at least focusing partially on Obi-Wan, and then the other half of the episode or another part of the episode on Darth Vader, contrasting what's happening, and then the sort of connective tissue there would be one of those flashbacks where maybe you either have a hint of what's to come, or on the other hand, just a look at much better times when they were brothers. You gotta do something like that, because the two can't have a real physical conflict. They can't fight, because just based on A New Hope. And I think it's more powerful if Obi-Wan confronts his student after 18 years to save Luke. But that's my thoughts, and all of these details about Kenobi just get me more and more excited. This show is going to be phenomenal. It also looks like it will be coming out relatively soon. Spring of next year is what people are saying. So we'll have the Book of Boba Fett, then we'll have this, then we'll have Andor. We've got lots of Star Wars TV shows coming. I am very excited. If you haven't subscribed to this channel already, I will certainly be talking about all of them, and probably doing some live reactions on my Patreon. That's patreon.com/EckhartLadder. So if you're interested in that, you can subscribe there. But until next time, guys, have a good one, be safe, and may the Force be with you.